In the pink, the lively architectures of a death cloud. Pink death clouds have been dominating the landscape of nickel in Russia due to continued extraction and smelting of nickel ore. Enlivened toxic nickel aerosol, lively acidic sulfate, and living aeroplankton fungi spore form the inhabitants of the death cloud. Collectively, these inhabitants form a weird assemblage of living and non-living. Collectively, they form the architecture of the not-so-dead pink death cloud. These weird assemblages create symbiotic relationships with resilient mountain birch trees that have learnt to live in the metallic and acidic soils. The relationships of the inhabitants reveals a shifting timescape of exchange. Metabolic devices intervene with these relationships, bringing the human inhabitants within resilient practices of toxic inhabitation. 4 shifting seasons form events and rituals that create ways of living within damaged air and ground. Season 1, Tapping Birch, 14 days. This season shifts each year as the Arctic spring warms. Performed by the mountain birch tree, Trichoderma fungi, and a human companion, the sap is drawn from the tree as it stretches, awakening to spring. By taking the sap and tending the tree, humans embed themselves within the processes of exchange that form entanglements within this damaged ground. Season 2, Culturing Withdrawal, 29 days. The death cloud arrives in a dense red haze. During the season, humans commit to a 29-day withdrawal from the haze, while suspending the collected tree sap directly in the descending fog. The haze contains fungal inhabitants that will colonize the tree sap, fermenting it. This fermentation releases chemicals such as butylenic acid and polyphenols, which, once consumed by the human, will contribute towards an increased metabolic resilience in the coming seasons of pink haze. Season 3, a spore washout, 72 days. Temperatures have warmed to an Arctic summer, whilst the uncertain promise of the death clouds loom in the atmosphere above. An electrical atmosphere is created by a sulfur-sensing device, which signals a slime fungi garden to release bursts of spores. As the spores enter the pink toxic air, they take control of the clouds, seeding the particulates and encouraging rain formation. An atmospheric washout ensues, dispersing the death cloud, and allowing the fungi spores to even further dominate the landscape. Season 4, In Living Memory, 1 day. The cultures of fungi, grown within the fermented tree sap during the season of Arctic haze, are gathered within cultured petri dishes and taken to the living memorials of the death cloud. As stored records of the death cloud, they have the ability to act as objects of dispute within the city. These structures act as a memory to living, lively, and lost inhabitants of the death cloud. Living within the toxic ruins of metal smelting means living within the loss of human and non-human.